Hello, my sweet friends, and welcome to DIY with Nadia. Today I'm doing some Dollar Tree winter and Christmas DIYs. To get started on this project, I'm grabbing a piece of white cotton fabric. Now, any white fabric will do, even that soft white felt from the Dollar Tree would work perfect for this. Now, I'm grabbing one of those wooden crates and I'm putting a lot of hot glue at the bottom of the crate so that my fabric will attach everywhere at the bottom. Next, I'm grabbing some floral foam, and this is the white hard floral foam from the Dollar Tree, and I'm hot gluing it to the bottom of my crate, straight to the fabric, and I'm just fitting in pieces that were left over from previous project to make sure that my crate is all filled up. Now I'm just putting my scissors right against the top of the crate, and I'm cutting off any excess fabric that's above the top of the crate. Next, I'm going to grab some of this frosted fern from the Dollar Tree, and I'm not going to be using the long leaves. I'm going to be using those little short ones. And I collected many of these short ones through a lot of these projects. And now I'm cutting the little stems to about 2 inches, grabbing some glue, putting it on the end, and attaching the tops of those little endings because they're usually not glued in. And I like to have that extra security of hot gluing the actual greenery to my stem. Next, I'm grabbing a 2.5-inch burlap ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to start hot gluing it from the middle back because of the way I'm going to display this. I wanted to make sure that both of my back corners were nice and smooth, so I started from the back middle. As I'm going around with the ribbon, I'm putting a little bit of hot glue at each corner until I get to the very back. I'm going to overlap just a little bit and hot glue the ribbon in place. Next, I'm grabbing a white grosgrain ribbon from the Dollar Tree, and this one is 5/8 of an inch. I'm going to hot glue it starting from the back middle of the crate, going all the way around the center of my ribbon. Now I'm grabbing my greenery and I'm ready to make my forest. I'm just going to be poking it in my foam until it looks like a little forest. Now I'm grabbing some cotton balls, and these are going to act like snow. I'm going to put them in between my little trees and all around the edges so it looks nice and smooth all around. Now I'm grabbing tiny pieces of the cotton and I'm just putting them straight against the tree, going up and down, and the little branches of the tree kind of catch on the cotton and it looks like snow. This looks so beautiful and elegant. Now I'm grabbing the bigger leaves of the frosted fern and I'm going to cut off the tips about maybe 2 inches from the top. And then in the front, I'm going to face them against each other and hot glue them to the center. Now I'm grabbing 3 iridescent vase fillers from the Dollar Tree, and these come in different combinations. So I'm just grabbing 3 of the white ones, and I'm going to hot glue them to the center. They kind of look like berries, and it's just a perfect touch to complete this project. Today's video is part of the Winter Wonderland collab. It is hosted by myself, DIY with Nadia, and Crafty Lainey, and we are joined by some very talented ladies. The playlist of this collab is going to be in the description box below. Please click on that and join us in this wonderful Winter Wonderland collab. To get started on my project, I'm going to be using a round summer sign. You can find these at the Dollar Tree for different seasons. And the first thing I'm going to do is heat up the little tag with my heat gun and just scrape it off nice and smooth. To make sure all that adhesive from the tag is off, I'm grabbing sandpaper and I'm just going to smooth it over really quickly. Now I'm grabbing some white Rust-Oleum chalk paint in linen white and I'm going to paint the whole back of the sign. Next, I'm grabbing this Believe sign that I got from the Dollar Tree, and it comes in a pack of 3 with 2 other holiday words. When I put paint on top of anything galvanized, as you can see, I'm tapping or doing more of a stenciling kind of action protection than painting. If you have older and drier paint, this will work with one coat, but if you have fresh new paint, you might have to give two coats to make sure everything is covered nicely. When my sign is dry, about half an hour, I'm grabbing some Mod Podge and I'm just going over the whole sign with Mod Podge. This is to seal in that paint. To decorate the top of my sign, I'm grabbing some frosted fern leaves, and these are the flat, long ones, and I'm just picking which ones would lay really nicely against my sign, and I'm just working towards the center top. So first I have two full leaves on the outside, then I'm going to have two more leaves that I'm going to cut down about an inch from the end so they're a little shorter. Then I'm going to grab two of the rounded little greenery pieces and I'm going to put them in between the two layers of the fern. It's going to give it a nice full look. Now I'm grabbing this burlap ribbon in red, and by the way, Dollar Tree has this burlap ribbon throughout the year in many different colors for many different holidays. And here I have this gorgeous red one that you can use for Valentine's and Christmas. And all I'm doing here is cutting off a big piece where I want my sign to go. And of course, I gave it 2 inches off of both sides so I have enough to bring it back and hot glue it in place as I'm doing right now. For this particular project, I only hot glued the ribbon in the back because I did not want anything to show in the front. Now I'm grabbing my believe sign and I'm hot gluing it right in the center and right on top of our red burlap ribbon. And I absolutely love the contrast of the red and white in this project. To make the bow for the top of this project, I'm going to grab this beautiful Dollar Tree ribbon. The print on it is red and black buffalo check with snowflakes on top. It's so pretty. Here I'm just making a simple bow, hot gluing it in place in the middle, and then hot gluing it to the top center of my fern. Now I'm grabbing the ribbon tails. I'm going to make sure that they're even and cut the tails on a little slant. For extra security, I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue to the fern in the back to make sure my bow is holding on real well. To complete the bow, I'm grabbing this vase filler snowflake and I'm just going to grab the white one and hot glue it to the center of my bow. For this project, I'm using a leftover piece of wood from construction at my home, and this sign is 1 inch by 3.5 inches and also 14 inches in length. The first thing I did was I gave it one coat of the chalk Rust-Oleum paint in linen white, and I painted all the way around except for the bottom. Next, I'm going to dry brush some black paint, and I didn't even have to put this one against my napkin because this was pretty much a dry bottle of black, but it worked perfect because I just wanted it a little bit on the edges so the edges stand out a little bit and just all around brushed it really, really lightly. Next, I'm grabbing this wooden ornament. It comes in a pack of 5, and I'm going to paint the little Christmas tree on top of the truck in a shamrock green, and that's by Craft Smart. And then the truck itself, I'm going to be painting it red, and I'm using Santa Red by Americana. Now I'm grabbing this wooden cutout. These come in a pack of 3 from the Dollar Tree. It says the word believe, and there's a little Santa hat on top of the B. So I'm going to paint the little Santa hat red. Then I'm painting it white where the fur is supposed to be. And then for the word believe, I'm grabbing some shamrock green by Craft Smart and just giving it a beautiful coat. To make it look like snow on top of my sign, I'm grabbing one of those infinity scarves that Dollar Tree got in this year. And of course, this is just white fur. You can also use one of those cloths that are furry like that. And the way I'm hot gluing it is towards the front of the sign. I'm hot gluing it with the fur down. Then I'm cutting off the excess. And then I'm flipping my fur and hot gluing it to the back of my little sign. And that's what's going to give us the little poof of snow on top. Now I'm just grabbing my truck, hot gluing that to the left of my sign, and then the believe sign, I'm hot gluing it to the right, and that's it. Our project is done. I think the sign came out very beautiful, elegant, and a little bit whimsical.